I've made kind of a jump from inner game to all of a sudden, holy shit, he's knocking him over and stuff. And I guess I want to make the point is that, I help guys, or I want you guys to become more dominant and physically aggressive, and that's something that guys lack and something that girls really want from a guy. And so I guess the point I want to make is it wasn't like some cognitive dissonant jump from one to the next. This is how you build in yourself the ability to just be comfortable with just leading and being physical. Okay, that's the point I want to make that point. And let's get back to where I was at because I have no idea. Yeah, I want to make this point real fast. I'm talking about being the standard and being the screener and the pre-selector. And, some of you guys take that too far. I know when David D'Angelo came out with his, cocky funny, everybody's MySpace profile was and if you don't do this, and if you can't cook and wash my dishes and be my sex slave, then you're just out. And, that's not what I'm talking about here, okay? That's weak display of I'm the screener here, okay? You want to show value, be who you are, and then as the natural rhythm of what's going on plays out, that's when you start showing your, who you are. Don't do it on your MySpace page. Don't be rude to girls or mean to girls, to try to get them back. If you guys have a hatred of women, this stuff's not going to work, okay? As much as I mess around with them, my background is just all girls, okay? I love them. I love to be around them, okay? So who I am and what I'm doing is from the foundation of I appreciate them, okay? And also, bitch shields or whatever, I see them as inspiration to man up, okay? There's something like someone went into it yesterday. If you're walking up and getting blown out repeatedly, you got something going on. Fix it, okay? Don't make excuses for it. My whole point earlier was don't make excuses for what's going on, okay? Accept it, take care of business, okay? Don't let yourself get to a place where you can't learn anymore, okay? Anyways, I want to get into more stories. Before I do, back to what I was saying, I am not out there to conquer women at all. When I'm this relaxed and I've already basically conquered myself, I've already taken care of my own shit, it becomes how can this be fun? How can I have a little fun little vibe between me and a girl, okay? If you're trying to game somebody or trying to seduce them, what's the next step? You're kind of getting away from to a girl what the point of being a guy is, She wants the guy that she can have fun with, okay? And what I'm trying to say is that when you're the standard, you're not looking for a girl to fulfill you, to make you feel good about yourself. You're just there having a good time, okay? You're just creating this real fun vibe between you and her. And, when it comes to what I do, I'm just an aggressive, dominant, physical kind of guy, okay? And what I was talking about earlier about even before I was sexual with it, I still had that going. So, that's what you want to develop. And, all of these are examples of how a guy acts that's just, like I talked about, has this stuff together. I was walking through a club a few months back, and there's two girls start walking by. And when you're the selector, you're just fucking around with people. It's grab them and I pull them in. I'm like, so girls, what's the chance of us getting a threesome? And I open with that kind of a lot sometimes. If it's in my head, I'm just dealing with that. And it never gets a bad reaction because when you're doing that and you're solid about that, you're presenting the image of a guy that actually that's just his lifestyle, okay? So usually what will happen is want to be really interested, and then the other one will be yeah, and she might scamper off, whatever. But when I grabbed him like this, and that same thing happened, she was just kind of into it, and she wasn't. And so I use that to screen her out. It's what's wrong with you? I kind of bring this girl out, and this girl is I've separated her from her friend, and she's sounding oh, I'm just not cool anymore. So I've used that as a standard to screen the girl out. So I've basically isolated her, And yes, I did have sex with her later. We always need to make that point. Yes, I did that, and I had sex with her. I went over to this girl's house that I'd met at a club, and I just was hanging out with the roommates. I was just having a really good time with them. And I wasn't trying to ignore her, but being a high value, as a high value guy, whatever, your attention just kind of shifts to wherever the value is. So at that point, I'm having a fun time with the roommates, and I'm basically ignoring her. And she's like, what's going on here? So like we go into her room, and I don't even know if I want to tell this. Anyways, she's like, what's going on? And I don't really say anything. I just slip my hand down the front of her jeans like this, and I'm looking at her like this. And she looks at me like I'm insane. And I'm not, so I just look at her like this. And that was it. When you're that kind of selector, they're just following your lead, and that's just how you physically escalate. You're just on your own rhythm, okay? So I went from basically 0 to 60 in less than a second. I went from, what are you doing, Joe? I just slipped my hand on the front of her panties, and I'm like, palming her down there. And yes, I did have sex with her too. Okay. We finish up, and she's got this beautiful behind, like holy shit, right? And I'm like, baby, I have to take pictures of your butt. I'm sorry, And I was talking about earlier where like when I did that, like she tested me for congruence. Like she looked at me like I was insane, but I was just solid about it. She does the same thing. She's like, you're so weird. You're so creepy. I can't believe you do this. And I'm like, and what she's doing is she's screening, okay? Who's going to be the guy that happens with? The guy that just takes charge, takes action, and just does it, okay? But by presenting that kind of like block, like, you're so weird and creepy, she'll scare away. She will make nervous or scare guys that aren't solid away, okay? So that's her screening process, okay? So like when you guys get like, resistance or whatnot, consider that, okay? She wants to have the right guy, or she only allows certain guys to do what they're doing, okay? So it's probably just screening. Pass that shit, okay? It doesn't mean anything. You are who you are, okay? Oh yeah, I took this yoga instructor out, and there's always comes a time where I'm thinking, I'm actually not gonna have sex with this girl tonight. That's weird, but it never works out that way. We always have sex. I don't know. It's just I'm like, okay, I know I'm not gonna have sex with this girl. No, it always just happens. Okay, so I'm out with this girl. She's a yoga instructor, and we go to a movie. I love taking girls to movies. I guess a lot of guys say that they don't agree with the whole movie thing, and I love it. I'm sitting next to a girl, and like her seat's my seat basically. I'm like grabbing her, and like pulling her in, or like I'm like leaning over her, or like rearranging her. Anyways, the date consists of like the movie, and then like me trying to pick her up and put her in trash cans as I find them. It's just like a fun thing. It's like trash can, and I grab her, and I'm just like trying to I'm like joking. I'm not actually gonna do it, but I'm like teasing her, and she's like, stop, And it's this fun, dominant, playful way of being with a girl, and I think I counted like 16 or 17 trash cans that she almost went into. And, when you have that kind of a vibe with a girl, when you're that physical and dominant with her, you're basically setting the mood for what's going to happen later. So, we get back to her place, and she makes me dinner and stuff, and we start messing around, and it doesn't last very long. No, I was kidding. So we started going at it, and I don't know why I'm telling the story, only that it's funny. Anyways, she's on top of me, and I'm just like leaning back like this because I don't like that much, and like she's in my lap, up and down, and I get bored or whatever, and I guess she gets bored too, so she leans over and starts stacking our dinner plates while we're having sex. She's like doing housework. I'm like, what the fuck? And I just grab her, like throw it out, like clear that table, like like that, and she just like starts screaming, and yeah. So I don't know what the point of that story was. Only that it's just hilarious. Okay, I met this girl out. She was my blueprint. Just exactly what I look for in a girl. Like Latina looking. Really, and her attitude, what she projects out, she's like a little socialite. Anyways.